Welcome, Rat. As you step into this unfolding journey of 2026 with warmth and presence, an invitation to witness how your own story mirrors the grand rhythms of the cosmos. Last year, 2025's wood snake wove its steady caution around you, urging you inward to observe, calculate, and conserve, much like a quiet night spent watching shadows shift beneath a lamp's glow. Now, the curtain lifts as Firehorse energy arrives. Imagine a sunrise bursting across a boundless plain, its light urging you to move outward, to act with urgency and boldness rather than retreat. Where Woodsnake asked you to pause before every turn, Firehorse asks you to gallop forward, igniting new paths and trusting swift instincts. In 2025, you may have found yourself lingering over every decision, weighing risks as though each outcome bore infinite consequence. In 2026, you'll feel a sudden pull toward decisive leaps, as if the breeze itself whispers, "Now." Likewise, last year you sought solace in solitude to piece together inner truths, but now you'll crave collaboration, recognizing that the fire within you grows brighter when fueled by another's spark. Firehorse asks you to embrace impatience wisely, to learn when it serves your growth and when it threatens to blaze out of control. It asks you to trust your instinctive courage, leaning into decisions even when the path isn't fully lit. As a rat, you naturally offer keen adaptability and resourcefulness, two signature strengths that have carried you through both calm tides and turbulent waves. You also yearn for security and recognition, needing a sense of stability to feel safe enough to take risks. Under Firehorse's fervor, your adaptability will become a gift of bold reinvention, inspiring those around you to follow your lead. Your resourcefulness, sharpened by urgent energy, will reveal creative solutions before crises fully form. Yet the same fire that kindles your gifts will also amplify your need for reassurance, sometimes pressuring you to overthink whether you're moving too fast or too recklessly. The heat of 2026 may intensify any lingering insecurities, pushing you to seek constant affirmation even as you blaze new trails. Last year's economic landscape brimmed with uncertainty as AI automation reshaped workplaces overnight and global trade shifts made headlines daily. You may have watched job descriptions vanish or pivoted roles to stay afloat, clinging to what felt secure under the snake's cautious eye. In 2026, Firehorse energy ignites opportunities but warns against stagnation. Bold moves may be rewarded, yet reckless gambles could scorch your footing. As a rat, your signature strength in seizing opportunity will guide you to spot emerging niches quickly, yet your blind spot, tendency toward anxious planning, might tempt you to hesitate just when action is required. To navigate Firehorse's fast-moving currents, lean into your ability to pivot swiftly, but beware when your mind loops into endless what-ifs. You might excel as a creative strategist in a tech startup, harnessing AI tools to build innovative solutions and leading collaborative teams. Yet you may struggle in a rigid corporate role where slow decision-making and strict hierarchies stifle your nimble spirit. Recognize when the ride calls for calculated risk, when you feel the spark of possibility in your gut, and when caution truly serves you, pausing to gather just enough information without stalling. In relationships, Firehorse's dynamic energy can stoke both warmth and friction. If you are in a committed partnership, you may feel a surge to reinvent the rituals that once felt comfortable. Consider setting aside an evening each week to devise a shared project, whether designing a small home altar or planning a sunrise hike, creating a space where both partners' passions can mingle without losing individual flame. If single, look for moments when social gatherings shift from casual chatter to passionate collaboration, perhaps a community workshop or impromptu creative jam, so that you can lean into sparks without bending your boundaries. Notice how your courage to approach someone new might blossom in the middle of collective excitement. You breathe life into connections when you lean in rather than hold back. The rat often struggles with a tendency to overanalyze every romantic cue, freezing as questions swirl, "Am I reading too much into that smile?" Yet you excel at offering unwavering loyalty once trust is earned, showing up with empathy and attentive listening. Imagine last year's scenario, seated across from someone you cared for, rehearsing each word in your mind as the snake's caution urged you to minimize vulnerability. In 2026, picture that same scene, but instead of retreating into thought, You meet their gaze and speak your truth, guided by fire horses urging to seize honest connection. Amid all this, a major transit in 2026, perhaps Jupiter's passage through your sector of transformation, acts like a cosmic gust fanning your inner flame. Jupiter's influence brings growth opportunities, but demands that you expand your vision, testing whether you'll lean into trust or buckle beneath doubt. When Jupiter crosses your path in March, you might feel sudden inspiration to launch a side project that reflects your deepest values, but you'll also wrestle with questions: do I deserve this opportunity? What if I falter? This transit can support you by opening doors and amplifying your confidence, yet it can also highlight any insecurities, inviting you to confront them head-on. Listen to Jupiter's whispers. It does not promise an easy ride, but it will encourage you to dream bigger and believe you are worthy of that dream. Fire Horse energy grants you, Red, two special advantages this year. First, it amplifies your natural curiosity, turning your sharp interest into fearless exploration. Imagine comparing your 2025 self, navigating new software cautiously under snake caution, opening files slowly, triple-checking every setting, versus your 2026 self, confidently diving into a complex AI-driven tool, experimenting without hesitation, and discovering shortcuts that save hours. Second, it heightens your instinct for timing. Whereas last year you might have hesitated to propose a bold idea to a potential collaborator, in 2026 you find yourself seizing the moment, pitching that idea with flair at a networking event and watching it catch fire. Yet there are two disadvantages as well. Your energetic push might sometimes fuel impatience that leads you to overlook crucial details. Picture a 2025 moment in which you quietly audited a budget line by line, spotting an error before it became a problem. Contrast that with a 2026 scenario where you rush through the figures to chase a new investment, missing a hidden fee that stings your cash flow. Similarly, Firehorse's heat can spark anxiety when plans stall. Imagine last year's calm patience, waiting for a project phase to unfold under snake patience, versus this year's frustration when timelines slip, your mind racing in circles and threatening to ignite conflict. Recognizing these patterns will help you temper fire with discernment. You likely experienced a mirror-worthy moment in 2025 under snake energy. Perhaps you held back from sharing a bold idea at work, staring at your screen as your cursor hovered over send, uncertainty tightening your chest. In 2026's Year of the Horse, that scenario could return. Except now you sense a new momentum. You type the email, heart pounding as you hit send, then lean back and breathe, trusting that even if the idea meets resistance, it will spark something valuable. Firehorse reminds you that growth often arises from courageous acts instead of silent hesitation. In 2025, your interpersonal world felt like a slowly turning wheel. Connections formed in hushed tones, comfortable routines that rarely changed. Moments of connection so subtle, you almost didn't notice them, and times of solitude so deep, you wondered if anyone truly saw you. You might have spent evenings nursing a cup of tea alone, replaying social interactions and wishing you had spoken up. Perhaps you felt both the thrill of understanding a dear friend's silent sorrow and the ache of wondering when someone would reach out to you with that same care. In 2026, those relational currents shift under Firehorse's influence. Soul emerges as both a fire and a mirror. Two soulmates appear. First, Dragon, whose presence in your life this year echoes like a long-lost melody now amplified. Remember how last year you yearned for someone who could match your vision, yet felt invisible as you shared your hopes? In 2026, Dragon steps into view like a blaze of colors at dawn, recognizing your ambition and reflecting it back, asking you to stand taller. With Dragon, conversations pulse with shared grand ideas, and when you speak of dreams you barely voiced before, Dragon listens, nods, and expands on them as though they were their own. This soul lights a fire under your own spirit, reminding you that collaboration can elevate both hearts. Second, Ox appears as a grounding soul who, under Firehorse's whirlwind, offers solid reassurance. Last year, you might have felt unmoored, caught between possibilities with no anchor. Ox arrives in 2026 like a steady oak, offering patient presence. When doubts swirl, Ox reminds you of your quiet strengths, resilience, loyalty, and gives you space to breathe before charging ahead. Ox's energy soothes your nerves, helping you harness Firehorse's drive without careening off course. Two surprising matches slip into your orbit. First, Snake, an unexpected echo from last year's caution now cast in new light. In 2025, Snake's subtle wisdom operated in the shadows. But in 2026, Snake emerges like a hidden ember that flares into useful guidance. Imagine attending a workshop and finding Snake's calm insight guiding a group discussion, offering you a fresh perspective on a problem you thought only you felt. Snake's presence magnetizes you because it shows you that caution need not be fearful. It can be discerning. Second, Rooster enters like a refreshing breeze. Once your schedules felt rigid under Snake's hush, but Rooster arrives in 2026 proclaiming clarity and precision with flair. You meet Rooster in a collaboration meeting, marveling at how they dissect ideas with razor-sharp insight. Their confident stride encourages you to fine-tune your own plans without second-guessing. Under Firehorse, these surprising encounters teach you that energies you once thought played smaller roles can now burst forth into vibrant collaboration. Two allies emerge. First, Monkey, whose playful wit aligns with your own cunning mind. In 2025, you may have buried your sense of humor beneath cautious reserve, but in 2026, Monkey's joyful laughter invites you to reclaim that levity. When stress spikes, Monkey shows you how a shared joke can diffuse tension, reminding you that even amid fiery pursuits, laughter heals. Second, Dog stands strong, a loyal confidant who senses your deeper fears without needing them spelled out. Imagine Dog reaching out during a moment of doubt, offering a listening ear, a walk through a frosted park at dawn, reminding you that you are not alone. Under Firehorse, Dog's steadfast presence helps you balance ambition with emotional nourishment, grounding you when heat threatens to scorch your heart. Two challenging animals test you. First, Tiger, whose commanding energy can clash with yours when you both strive to lead. Picture a 2025 scene where you deferred to Tiger's bold proposals, shrinking in the corner. In 2026, your fires kindle in parallel and you find yourself arguing fiercely over direction, each of you convinced your path is right. To diffuse this conflict, learn to pause mid-flame, taking a moment to breathe and ask Tiger what truly matters under the noise, seeking common ground rather than fueling every spark. Long-term, transform this tension into creative alchemy by merging Tiger's raw courage with your strategic finesse. Collaborate on a joint project that honors both your visions and stronger team results. Second, Rabbit emerges with gentle empathy that sometimes clashes with Firehorse's urgency. In 2025, Rabbit's soft approach may have appealed but felt too slow. In 2026, Rabbit arrives with soothing warmth just as your flame races ahead and you struggle to align pace. When Rabbit's need for comfort meets your hunger for action, frustration may simmer. To navigate this, remind yourself that pausing to nurture relationships fuels your fire rather than hindering it. Schedule intentional moments of care with Rabbit, sharing laughter over tea or tending a community garden plot, so that Rabbit's empathy and your ambition can feed each other. All through these relational dynamics, you carry the ache of longing for recognition and the triumph of those rare moments when someone truly sees your spark. In acknowledging these soulmates, surprising matches, allies, and challengers, you feel seen as you were in 2025 and validated in your hopes for 2026's transformations. You sense that even when burdens weigh heavy, support waits just beyond the horizon if you are brave enough to reach. Now consider elemental context. In 2026, the fire element blazes with creativity, passion, and spontaneity, encouraging you to speak your truth and trust your instincts. As a wood rat, you brim with innovative ideas but may find your impulsive spirit tangled in overgrowth. You must prune distractions to let your creativity blossom. Fire rats enter the year with resonance. They thrive, their own element energized by the horse's flames, radiating charisma and forward momentum. Earth rats, grounded and practical, may struggle under so much heat, sensing overwhelm as familiar routines flare out of shape. They must lean on supportive allies to maintain stability. Metal rats shine this year. The fire tempers their strength, forging new clarity and focus, urging them to cut through indecision with precision. Water rats face tension. Their fluid nature resists fire horses' dryness, so they need to draw on inner wells of calm to ride the flames without evaporating. For health and wellness, you might try a morning ritual of mindful movement, perhaps a brief flow of sun salutations at dawn, to align your body with fire horses' stimulating energy, grounding fire through embodied breath and gentle stretch. Have you noticed how, even amid fiery quests, a moment of stillness can awaken a deeper clarity? Do you feel how the clash of souls and sparks of inspiration reflect something longing to emerge within you? As the year advances, remember that Fire Horse's fierce energy does not seek to consume you, but to illuminate your path. Embrace its passion as your ally, tempering impatience with discernment and fueling connection with authenticity. In each encounter, whether with Dragon's inspiring flame, Ox's steady warmth, or the friction Tiger brings, know that these moments shape you into a radiant force capable of forging new horizons. May this year's fire ignite your most authentic self and guide you toward a life where each step burns with purpose and each connection shines with mutual understanding.